Hello, friends. Hey, so glad that you chose to be with us today. I hope you're having some snow wherever you're at. You know, this past week we had a little snow. Man, it was the perfect kind of snow, too. Just enough to be on the ground, but not on the streets. So the kids loved it. The parents loved it. So hopefully you're enjoying this winter. Hey, in the studios with us, we have Kevin Belcher. Hey, KB.
How's it going, Clay?
Hey, brother. I'm good. How are you?
Man, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
You keep looking younger, and I keep looking older. I mean, what are you doing, brother? I mean,
juicing. No.
Juicing, huh? Maybe that's my problem. I'm not much of a juice man.
Yeah, no, I don't. I actually don't juice. That's too much sugar. It makes it. But I do eat a lot of fruit.
Yeah,
that's my key. Less meat, more fruit.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I don't eat much meat anymore myself, but that's not the way I grew up. You know, definitely meat.
Oh yeah,
meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
That's all you really need, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Now the dietitians, they would argue with that, but that's really all. That's what I liked as a kid. Hey, you and I met in the 90s.
Yeah, probably 96, I believe it was.
See, much better memory than what I've got. You were working with Teen Life Challenge,
mm-hmm.
and at that time, Paul and Linda Ecker, right?
Great people.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah. I had a real appreciation for Linda because her full-time job was taking care of Paul, you know, which is
a double full-time job. Just trying to keep him from doing things because he's always on the go, just like you. Yeah.
When I first met Paul, it was in the 80s. And what drew me to him, it wasn't Teen Life Challenge. I never seen a greater soul winner in my life.
Awesome.
And I don't remember how many people he picked up on the road.
I think it was over 15,000 throughout his whole career.
His guardian angel definitely was busy when he was with him.
That was a special calling.
Oh, yeah. No question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people could, you wouldn't survive the journey on that, you know, with Paul could be your friend in just a few minutes and call you out at the same time.
That's right. Yes.
Now, before we talk about back in the Teen Challenge days, you just recently got married, right?
I did. So me and Felicia met online 16 years ago.
Okay.
She was in San Antonio. I was here. I was here in Dallas. She's actually from Corpus, but she grew up in San Antonio. And so we never really just connected because I wasn't really into long distance dating. And so, but we remained friends throughout the years. And, you know, I tell a story about how in Proverbs 31:10 it say, who can find a virtuous woman? That question that was imposed indicated that she can't be found. She have to be revealed. Mm. And the only way she can be revealed is that you have to be a seeker, a diligent seeker of God. It says he's a rewarder of those that diligently seek him, not her. So I pursued him. And in turn, he unveiled her because I had been seeing her for 16 years, never seen her as my wife until that moment that he unveiled her. And that was just in this past August. And I'm like, I never seen you like this before. But that's what it was. God unveiled her finally because of my pursuit in him. So now I reap the reward. And I'm glad about it.
Praise the Lord. I'm happy for you, brother.
I am too, man. I tell you, it's been a long journey. If I told you, I was pursuing other women I was engaged 7 times since I've been divorced in 2007. 7 times. I put a ring on a woman's finger, and it just never happened. But this time, it was one of those things where I stopped pursuing a mate, and I pursued God more than the mate. And in turn, God blessed me.
Somebody needed to hear that today, brother. That's why you're here. You know that?
Yeah. Matthew, go ahead.
There's a lot of people out there. They're looking for the perfect person. I hear people all the time saying, if I just had someone, I'd be whole. I'm going, not sure. I'm not sure it works out that way. You
Right.
know?
Exactly.
I'd be the first to admit. I mean, Barbara always made me better. There's no question about that.
Yeah. She was a wonderful woman.
She was. She was a
God.
smart person. I understand all that. But the Lord is the one that makes us whole.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
And when you seek Him, He'll take care of you. He'll give you the desires. And sometimes those desires change.
Yeah.
When you seek Him.
That's right.
Instead of seeking, well, it could not necessarily be a mate. It could be a thing, you know. So, well, back in the day, I'm happy for you, KB.
Thank
Praise
you,
the
sir.
Lord.
Thank you so much.
God's good, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You're currently. I keep trying to get back to the Teen Challenge. You currently work for the city.
I am. I'm still there.
What do you do for the city?
Human Resources, Civil
That's what
Service.
I was thinking. Yeah. HR. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I do a lot of the hiring, or part of the hiring process now. I left HR and took a promotion down to Civil Service, but they pretty much one and the same. We do the same. Matter of fact, Civil Service actually manages 85% of all the jobs at the city of Dallas.
Okay.
And HR only handle 15. So they pretty much, the HR functionality is really from onboarding on up.
Gotcha.
We do the initial part.
Onboard stuff.
Yeah. So,
You were at Teen Challenge for how many years?
I was there 13 years.
It seemed longer than that.
Yeah, it did.
It's a lifetime, right?
It did. It seemed like that. But, I think the thing of it is, especially before I got married, I was there 24 hours a day all them years for many of those years. So it does seem like a lifetime because I was right there and I had my own place right. I was right there.
Yeah, right in the middle of it.
Yeah. And I was the type of person that it wasn't a 9 to 5 or type job. Right. It was 24/7. There were times we would have. I remember we would do Wednesday night Bible studies, and me and Pastor Rod Culver, and there were times where demons would manifest in that service.
Yeah.
And we would be up to 2 or 3 in the morning casting out demons right there in Wasatch.
I saw Rod the other day. He's doing well. He's doing good.
He's here. He's in town.
He lives in Kaufman.
Okay, I thought he was out of town somewhere.
Well, he moved away, but he has grandkids in Colorado, So
right. Okay.
But yeah, he moved. He's in Kaufman now.
Okay,
but
cool.
He's doing well.
I'm gonna have to call him up.
He's doing well. So when you were at Teen Challenge, you saw some guys that were a little more challenged than others.
Absolutely. So one of the things I think God anointed me for was to deal with difficult people. I just had a knack for them. I can tell you so many stories about the bad guys that just didn't want to change. But when they went to my office, I would always make it my business to be a blessing to them in some kind of way. After I spent time with them, I could just see the walls coming down. And I would bring guys in the office, because all of the difficult guys, the interns and stuff, they didn't want to deal with them because they just wasn't there yet. But for me, I seen me in them because I was a knucklehead, and I can remember just bringing them in and just more than anything, I think the love factor would get to them eventually. It was almost like how the program was started itself with Nikki Cruz. and his gang members. When David would continue to preach the gospel to him, try to witness to him, David Wickerson, the late great David Wickerson, he wouldn't give up, and they even threatened to kill him. They say, "Look, you don't know who you're messing with. You messing with a notorious gang that kill people. I don't want to hear about your God and your love." David said one thing when he stood up to Nicky Cruz, the gang leader. He was the gang leader at that time. He said, "You know what? I'd rather die knowing that I'm giving you the gospel and sharing my love with you. Anyway, so go ahead on, kill me." And that struck a nerve with Nicky Cruz. He was like, "Whoa, wait a minute. You actually willing to die for what you're doing?" And he said, "Sure, yeah, kill me, take my life. I'm good, you know." And at that point, Nicky began to break down and look at him in a different manner. And at that point, David led him and that whole gang to the Lord. And from that point, he was like, "Well, I don't want him to the Lord. What am I going to do with him?" You know, because if I just let them go back in the streets, they gone. Yeah. So that's how Teen Challenge was actually derived in 1958. He put them in a home and started discipling them. And from that, probably over 4 or 5, I think maybe 600. At one point, it was over 600 facilities all around the world has been birthed because of that one action. So yeah, that would, you know, and so I'm just duplicating the process, you know, according to Matthew 8, the Great Commission. You know, go ye therefore and make disciples.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Go ye therefore and make disciples.
Yeah.
You know, we got a lot of followers in church, but what the church is a lot of time is missing is discipleship. Yeah. It's important.
Yeah, we think it says go into all the world and get people saved.
Yeah.
That's what we think they
Right.
Now, you can't get to point B until you cross A.
That's right.
But that's just step number 1. You know, people do what they know, and up until they've accepted Christ, what they know doesn't line up with the Word of God.
Absolutely.
So who's going to help them go from A to B?
Yep.
That's the church.
That's the church.
That's our responsibility.
Exactly.
To disciple them, and that's what Teen Challenge does so very, very well, and has for
not
a long
only
time.
Teen Challenge, but you know, Clay, I think about the times working with you with Dallas Metro, man. Oh my God, what a ministry! I can remember going to East Dallas Project. See, many people don't know how dangerous that job was. East Dallas Projects. I'm from the South Dallas area, and so I know about East Dallas, South Dallas. That was rough territory.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I'm talking about where people get killed all the time. You know,
yes,
I remember a little old guy named Little Larry. He was 11, 12 years old. He was one of the biggest notorious gangsters out of East Dallas. They had a lot of gangs there. I can remember one night before Christ, I had a girlfriend over in East Dallas Projects. I had a blue car. That area was blood, so they was red.
Oh boy.
I was taking her home one night about 2 or 3 in the morning. We came from a party or something, but I pulled in to the back because her door faced the back. You would go in and go to the back. I cut in front of this car, but they was way away from me. But they followed me all the way to the back. And when we got out, it was 4 guys got out with masks and long black coats, and they all pulled out Uzis on me. And I'm like, what's going on? The only thing I could think of, I'm in a blue car, red in the blood. I mean, you know, and they they put those guns up to me, and I think it was a gang initiation. And they stirred it. They never said one word. So I started talking. I was like, "Look, man, if you're gonna kill me, please, man, just don't hurt this lady and her baby. You know, don't hurt them. Take my life, but just don't hurt them." And they stirred with those guns, drew to me, and thank God for his ministering angels, because it had to be him.
He had a plan for you, brother.
He had a plan,
He
and
did have a plan for you.
they spared my life.
Yeah.
And I know it was a gang initiation at that time, because that's what they was doing in that area.
We made the mistake when we first started. We used to, some of our staff wore cowboy coats.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wasn't good.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Note to self: no more cowboy coats.
Yeah. But Clay, I wanted to. It would be remiss if I didn't tell you how grateful I am for your sidewalk Sunday school ministry that you started there. I remember, because we used to go door to door.
Yes, sir.
We done it the old school way. We would knock on those people's doors. We didn't know drug dealers, gangs, gang members. We was knocking on everybody's door trying to spread the gospel. Well, not trying.
Yeah.
We were.
Right.
And I can remember so many testimonies of how the ministry saved the kids first.
Right.
And the kids, after being bad and just had all of these crazy characters, because that's all they seen.
Right.
But once they changed, I remember so many women that would come down and say, what y'all got going on here?
Yep.
And they would end up getting saved.
Right.
So, man, thank God for you, man. You impacted a lot of people.
Thank you, friend.
In those projects over there, man.
Thank you,
I
friend.
tell you,
Thank you.
that was a dynamic ministry. It still is.
Yes, sir. We're still there.
Yeah.
Still there.
Okay.
Yeah, we one of the dreams that we had while you were there was to have a church for the families of these kids, and as you know, one of those kids didn't live in East Dallas, lived in West Dallas, which again, you're kind of going. Most people don't understand. East Dallas and West Dallas.
Yeah, and South Dallas.
I
come from Bunton.
Yeah,
I was born and raised in Bunton.
Well, it was like, even LJ.
Mm-hmm.
LJ, it got so bad, LJ would not get on a bus with Frazier.
Yeah.
Because of the drug traffic problems between the two, Same thing, the shootings that took place just over who's in charge, who's going to run whatever. Was Ricky would go, he said, Pastor Clay, I think we're going to have to run 2 separate buses down here because those people can't get along.
They can't get yeah.
But the Lord has raised up a church. And the pastor of that church is Timothy Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy grew up in West Dallas.
West Dallas.
Yeah. So, I'm part of the usage for the new facility will be for the church. But there are a lot of guys there at Teen Challenge, like Mike and Kerry.
Mm-hmm.
I still miss Kerry. He was a good brother.
Yeah, Kerry. Yeah, Kerry Ross.
Yeah.
I still talk to him.
Yeah.
He's a deacon over at New Birth.
Oh, okay.
Off Ledbetter.
Talking about Kerry Gillum.
Yeah, Kerry. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good brother. It was, Kerry was definitely into country music for a season in his life.
Oh man, that was my brother.
But could sing Southern gospel music, and that's not, probably like yourself, not exactly my niche,
Yeah.
But I definitely had a new appreciation for it after getting to meet Kerry and his lovely wife, Jean. Yeah, good people, right?
Oh, my God. I love them so much. Kerry was amazing.
Yeah.
Do you realize, I don't know, a lot of people don't know, Kerry wrote over 300 songs while he was at Teen Challenge.
No, I didn't know that.
I know most people don't know it. And I used to tell him, Kerry, man, these are hits. You need to go get this stuff recorded. Think about He's still God.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean, but he had over 300 songs.
Are you listening to this, Chris? Chris wrote a song. I told him, I said, brother, you need to get this thing published, bro.
Exactly. But Kerry never. He was so humble. He was like, no,
Yeah.
I don't need no fame and all of that.
That's
I just do what God asked me to do.
True. It's
Yeah,
true.
but you should get compensated because they always Christian country, man.
Right.
And I mean, that was a testimony with itself. We done so many road trips together. You had a guy out of the hood.
Yep.
Out of the hood, and then you had a country guy together.
Yeah, it's true.
And man, we loved each other like true brothers. I mean, we really, I loved that. I miss him so much.
Me too.
He was funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was sold out to the Lord. He had I'm trying to remember. He had he met a close friend there, 18 Challenge, and I think his name was Mike, but I'm not 100% sure. He was in the Marines. Does that ring a bell with you?
It's so many guys came through there. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
So many.
This guy was a Marine, and he asked me. He said, "Have you ever heard of Toys for Tots?" Well, of course I'd heard of it, but really didn't know anything about it. And he said, "Well, if I can get you hooked up with Toys for Tots, would you take the toys?" Well, what do you mean? Would I take them? I mean, how many can you bring? And started a great relationship with us, and we still, to this day, get toys from Toys for Tots at Christmas time.
Wow.
Because of one of the students at Teen Challenge.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Connections, them divine connections. All it takes is one word, one person to change the whole trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have been that one man that have changed many lives, man, and I appreciate you. I do. I know.
Our guest last week, her name was April. You probably met April. She was volunteering same time you guys were coming out.
Mm-hmm.
She was at not Rhodes Terrace, Turner Court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had mentioned to her that people think that Dallas Metro was my dream. And I went, man, it's not my dream. I said, this is what the Lord wanted to do in our city. And he said, do you want to be a part? And I'm so glad and grateful that I said yes. Because many times I'm thinking, who am I that the Lord will allow me to be a part of what he's doing in our city? And he's continuing to do it even today.
That's beautiful. That's a wonderful thing.
I mentioned Timothy. There's others, James Musioki. James came on a mission trip. He was a senior in high school, came on a mission trip. And he had a terrible time when he was here. He came, his youth pastor talked him into coming on this mission trip. And he was miserable the whole time he was here. And his deal was, happiness was Dallas in his rearview mirror, man. He didn't ever want to come back here. And then the Lord spoke to him, says he was graduating from high school and was trying to get in college. And the Lord spoke to him about coming to Dallas and interning with us. And he went, I don't want to do that. And the Lord said, that's what you need to do. So he got on a bus, came here. First 2 months, probably the worst intern we've ever had.
Wow.
He wanted to go home, and I think that the entire staff wanted him to go home more than he wanted to go home. And then one day, it's like the light bulb came on, and he began to see the changes. Because if you're looking from the outside, you and I probably see things differently than most people do, only because we've seen it.
Right.
Now, once you see it, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of noise. It's not just a bunch of nonsense. Okay. I know why this is happening.
Yeah.
And you also see things before they happen.
Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of like professional football. What are those guys back there in the defensive back? They're trying to see by the formation. They're trying to figure out what the play is going to be, right, so they can react to it. Well, it's the same way on the streets, brother.
Yep.
You just look there, been there, done that. I know where this is going. This is not good. We might want to get in front of this, right?
Yep.
Or you see someone's life is broken, and you realize they're not a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
They've had bad things happen to them.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, this is their defense mechanism,
Mm-hmm.
how they can cope with life. It's not that they really want to, knock your head off. Life has just been tough for them. It's the only way they know how to protect themselves, how to survive. Hey, and nobody likes living in survival mode. I don't care where you're at on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to live in survival mode. It's not a good time, right?
Absolutely.
But God has raised up this generation that is doing life differently. Just like you were seeking a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were seeking something, just didn't know what it was, right?
Yeah. I was that person seeking at one time. I mean, not the wife, but living that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand I was raised up in the projects, so I'm a product of the projects, but I'm also a person that can truly say that God delivered me from all those wicked ways. But when all you see is crime,
right?
When all you see is liquor stores and drug dealers, they become your idols.
Right.
When you don't have nothing else to see but, especially a black man like me, seeing another brother in a fancy car and all of this stuff, I used to crave that stuff.
Sure.
I'd be like,
sure.
But that's all I seen.
Right.
Until I got out of that, because I wanted to be that myself, and I end up being it. I end up escaped by the grace of God. I was facing a 99-year sentence because of what I seen and all I seen. I never had an opportunity to get outside of that environment for a long time. But because of the grace of God, He allowed me an opportunity, and that opportunity went from a sentence from 99 years to teen challenge. Big difference. And I really didn't even want teen. It was amazing though. Even with that situation, there was another organization that had supposed to accepted me first, but when I got my sentence, they denied me. They said they had heard that I was this notorious drug dealer in Dallas and this and that, and they didn't want to take a risk on me. But all that was because Joseph Heineken and Mike Brandon came. They was the second organization that came to interview me in jail.
Mike Brandon, yeah.
Old Mike and our late brother, beloved Big Joseph.
Yeah.
But they came and interviewed me and accepted me, and all it was, God knew I wouldn't be who I am today had I went to this other place.
Yeah.
It was in Dallas. When I came to Teen Challenge, they shipped me. They got me out of Dallas. They shipped me to Jacksonville, far away. And I think and this is a word for somebody. Sometimes, just like Abraham, God told him to get thee away from thy kindreds.
Yep.
And I will take you to a land and bless you,
right,
and make your name great.
Mm-hmm.
God had to get me out of Dallas for a while. And I think it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Sometime in life, you got to get out of that. I know a lot of people are stuck doing the same thing today that they was doing 30 and 40 years ago, still stuck on crack, because they never have found a way out. So all they know that it's a stronghold on them in that area, in that demographic area. There are certain strongholds that hoovers over demographic areas, and sometimes your only way out is to get out. Mm-hmm. It's to get out. You got to get out of that environment, and when you need the help, find a way to get the help. There is help out there for you.
Yep.
But you got to want it.
There's people do what they know.
That's true.
It's probably one of the hardest lessons in life. They don't know that there's another option. There is another way. You are right. Our kids, their dream is dream of survival, and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
But there is another way, and that way is found in Christ. And KB, there's another new generation of kids out there. They're still just like you were, not like you are today, but like you were.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the right example.
I think they worse.
They
different.
They are different.
We had a code. At least we had a code, a respect code to a certain extent.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
now these kids don't care.
But they need somebody out there.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
We're continuing to. We're still running our sidewalk trucks. We've got our buses running on Saturdays. They also need a safe haven, some place that they can come to on Sundays, and get out of their environment and get along with the Lord. And so that's what this new facility that the Lord has laid on our heart to build, and to build this thing absolutely debt-free. So those that are listening today, why would you tell them that they need to partner with us and help us believe for this dream?
Listen, I've seen it firsthand. I've worked with Pastor Clay for many years. We would go out and volunteer and help them out. I've seen so many lives change because of this ministry. I'm talking about kids that were like me, that were hopeless, didn't know which way to go. Dallas Metro is a beacon. It's the light, especially in those really hard areas where a lot of people don't want to go in. Metro is the key to a lot of kids and parents, because, again, one of the things I've always admired about the ministry is that they always target the kids first. But when those parents see the change, the significant change in the kids, they become, wow, what happened? This is a huge change. And then they get hooked. And so to have a safe haven, if you will, a place, a facility whereby kids that's in these impoverished areas, a lot of time, they need a place like that. It literally is a dream center for a whole lot of families. I've seen the change. I've seen the families that was touched by this ministry. And there needs to be a Dallas Metro in every area where there are poverty-stricken kids growing up that, I mean, the inner city kids, it's me coming from the projects myself can tell you firsthand. If I'd have had a Dallas Metro way back then, I would have been a much better person. I wouldn't have had to go through all of the stuff that I went through.
Yeah.
It would have saved me a lot of time. All of the times I was in jail and just in and out of jail all for the longest. Had I been touched by that ministry back when I was a kid coming up in Bunton, one of the most poverty-stricken. I've seen a documentary on Bunton, and that was the most described as the lowest, poorest area that Dallas have ever had. And I seen people. My next door neighbor. One time me and my next door neighbor's nephew. We out shooting marbles, and one of the brothers running out the house. The other brother come out the house shooting him. Just like. He was.
It's normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He pushed us to the side. As soon as he pushed me and my friend to the side, he got shot 2 or 3 times by his own brother. I seen so many different shootings coming up as a kid, to where if I hear a gunshot, I don't even jump. I'm just immune to it because that's what I seen all my life. Yeah. Well, most of my childhood life anyway.
Right.
But this ministry, I'm telling you, it saved families, and it definitely saved lives.
Amen.
And I thank God for you, man.
Thank you, brother. Kevin, I so appreciate you being here today. Congratulations on your new bride, brother. I'm very, very happy for you.
I am too, man.
Thank you for your friendship.
Yes, likewise.
Folks, I hope you heard Kevin's heart today. And I hope you also sense the urgency. We need to get this center up, and we need to get it up now. We are working on the paperwork for the plotting of the land with the city of Dallas, and once that's completed, then we'll be submitting the architectural drawings, and then we'll be ready to go. All we'll need is cash. Remember, for those of you that have listened to us before, our dream is to pay absolutely cash for this, no debt whatsoever. So we're building this in phases. The first phase is $2 million. And I know that's a really big number. It's a big number for me. But you know what? It's not a big number for our Lord. So I'm just asking you today, if everyone that's watching this, if you'll just do your part, if you'll just help us monthly during the year of 2025, it's going to allow us to break ground, and we're going to provide that safe haven. This next generation that's coming up, they need to know there is a God, and that He cares for them and He loves them, and they don't have to face some of the stuff that KB did. Thanks, guys. So glad you tuned in today. See you next week. God bless you. Bye-bye.